You're listening to The Morning Takeover with Wisdom's Daughter and James Mack on 92.7 WKRA FM, your station for information and inspiration. Breaking news, current events, and trending stories on The Morning Takeover at 9. You're listening to The Morning Takeover with Wisdom's Daughter and James Mack on 92.7 WKRA FM, your station for information and inspiration. Breaking news, current events, and trending stories on The Morning Takeover at 9. Wisdom's Daughter and James Mack are dominating the airways with The Morning Takeover on 92.7 WKRA FM, your station for information and inspiration. Would you like to advertise your business on the radio? We're seeking sponsors for The Morning Takeover. Space is limited, so act now. Send an email to morningtakeoverjw@gmail.com for more information. You're listening to The Morning Takeover with Wisdom's Daughter and James Mack on 92.7 WKRA FM, your station for information and inspiration. Butters and Black Soap offers high-quality, handcrafted butters, black soaps, and oils made with all-natural ingredients that improve the appearance of hair, skin, and nails. Try Butters and Black Soap's amazing collection of African black soaps sourced from Ghana and infused with ingredients such as turmeric, oatmeal, sea moss, coconut milk, activated charcoal, and more to promote healthy-looking skin. Say goodbye to dry, cracked skin with the Sea Moss Body Cream by Butters and Black Soaps. This non-greasy formula will leave your skin soft and supple. If you want to achieve a natural, healthy glow, try one of their whipped shea butters. Indulge in the luxurious feel of African black soaps and more by Butters and Black Soap. Shop now at www.butters_blacksoap.com. Use custom code WISDOM for a 15% discount. Shop now. You're listening to The Morning Takeover with Wisdom's Daughter and James Mack on 92.7 WKRA FM, your station for information and inspiration. Breaking news, current events, and trending stories on The Morning Takeover at 9. You're listening to The Morning Takeover with Wisdom's Daughter and James Mack on 92.7 WKRA FM, your station for information and inspiration. Breaking news, current events, and trending stories on The Morning Takeover at 9. You're listening to The Morning Takeover with Wisdom's Daughter and James Mack on 92.7 WKRA FM, your station for information and inspiration. Breaking news, current events, and trending stories on The Morning Takeover at 9. Wisdom's Daughter and James Mack are dominating the airways with The Morning Takeover on 92.7 WKRA FM, your station for information and inspiration. Would you like to advertise your business on the radio? We're seeking sponsors for The Morning Takeover. Space is limited, so act now. Send an email to morningtakeoverjw@gmail.com for more information. You're listening to The Morning Takeover with Wisdom's Daughter and James Mack on 92.7 WKRA FM. You're listening to The Morning Takeover with Wisdom's Daughter and James Mack on 92.7 WKRA FM, your station for information and inspiration. Breaking news, current events, and trending stories on The Morning Takeover at 9. Hello, everyone, and good morning. This is Wisdom's Daughter and James Mack on 92.7 WKRA FM. It is Wednesday, July 10th. Hoping everyone is having a good morning. We have an awesome show for you guys. We're going to be talking about kid entrepreneurs, an 11-year-old who got a Whole Foods contract for her lemonade business, and some other young kids who are trying to do the same. But first, we've got James Mack with our weather and local news. James, good morning.
Well, good morning to you too, Wisdom, and to all of our wonderful listeners that are have gotten up with us each and every morning. We're so grateful for everyone being with us. I hope you got your coffee and you're comfortable and you let the dog out and all those other things because I really want everyone to give an ear to this to our broadcast today. Is going to be really special, and I'm pretty sure that you all are going to enjoy it. Listen, we have some great weather today, even though we were dealing with the after effects of Beryl, that tropical storm that has wreaked havoc over uh, $34 billion. They're estimating that this storm has caused. Where our prayers, our thoughts, and all the comfort that we can send to you, we send to those residents that are listening to us. We do have listeners over in the Texas coast area, in the Houston and Dallas areas, and also around Florida and those different places. The after effects are bringing winds and rain that they had brought this earlier this week. But on today, we got clearing skies with northwest winds that will be paving the way for a delightful day today. We'll be in the highs of the upper 80s and we'll be in the low 70s tonight. Enjoy this break because this is a good break from the heat because tomorrow we warm up. We'll be in the mid 90s by the weekend with mostly dry and stable weather pattern until on Sunday. Heat advisories will likely by the week's end we should have some heat advisories with just a few showers. So we're not going to be looking at any kind of precipitation or rain on today. Our next chance for rain probably will be on Sunday, Monday, leading into next week. But right now in Oxford, it's 71, and Olive Branch is 72, and it's 71 at WKRA 92.7 FM in Holly Springs, Memphis, Shelby County area. So y'all enjoy this mild weather that we're having. Also like to say good morning to some of our wonderful listeners. Thank you all for coming over on our YouTube page. I really appreciate all of the support that you've been given and that your faithful listenership and that you've been telling people about uh, our uh, our 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 broadcast and our morning the morning takeover as we named it. Like to say hi to Karen Cox and to Yvonne Moore, to Sharon Reed. Glad that your father's doing well. To Sean in the western suburbs of Illinois. To Tricia Henderson, the director and founder of Sisters of Sisters. They had a wonderful, as I said, had a wonderful celebration on the past holiday with the ladies and helping them, those that are struggling uh, with addiction. We heard from them, and they did real well. We're going to be hearing about Miss Henderson in some coming weeks, and you'll know about her. We'd like to say hello to Miss Kim DeWin over there in Louisiana that's listening to us, one of our great supporters. You're going to hear more about Kim soon, and we was just grateful for all of you that are here. Wisdom, we got a wonderful lead in to our show today. It's going to be a little unique, and we have to give opportunity for our younger listeners and people that are listening. And I'm pretty sure that they're going to enjoy today's show. So, Wisdom, go ahead and just bring us into our lead story today.
All right, so again, we're going to be talking about kid entrepreneurs and highlighting an 11-year-old girl who got a Whole Foods contract for her lemonade business. I actually remember this story from not too long ago because
business, this young lady, not only did she get a Whole Foods contract, but her lemonade, which is now known as Me and the Bees, many of you may know it if you shop at Target or if you shop at Walmart. But what an amazing story. So, not many kids turn their lemonade stands into successful ventures, but 11-year-old Michaela Ulmer has raised the bar by securing a 4-state contract with Whole Foods. I mean, listen, that would have been my dream. I had a lemonade stand when I was coming up, and that would have been my dream to get my brand in big stores. So the Austin, Texas sixth grader built her lemonade stand or lemonade business, Bee Sweet Lemonade, which is now known as Me and the Bees, with a 1940s lemonade recipe from her grandmother that uses flaxseed and local honey as sweetener. Oma received a $60,000 investment when she appeared on ABC's Shark Tank with her business. Now, I watch Shark Tank, and I have seen adults stammering and stumbling and struggling to get a deal with any one of the investors on Shark Tank. And this young lady was able to secure a $60,000 investment. So Whole Foods also saw the promise in her lemonade, which supports local bees by using honey. The supermarket chain signed a deal with Omer to sell the lemonade in 55 stores across Arkansas, Texas, Louisiana, and Oklahoma. Now, while the lemonade brand highlights the role of bees, Omer says she wasn't always a fan. She says, when I was 4 years old, I got stung by 2 bees in 1 week, she tells NBC. It was painful. I was terrified of bees, but that fear ended up inspiring her to learn more about the insects, and she decided to make her lemonade with local honey. This is just it's an amazing story. I mean, I remember vaguely when she was on Shark Tank, but just to see our young people at such a young age entering business. I mean, I think if I had my choice to work for someone else or work for myself, I would always choose to work for myself, hands down. But after appearing on the hit ABC business investor show Shark Tank, again, sixth grader Michaela Ulmer, she got $60,000 for her Bee Sweet Lemonade company. The deal will basically place her home style lemonade on the shelves, as we said, at 55 stores. Now, this young lady, her lemonade has expanded beyond Whole Foods. You can find it in Walmart. You can find it in Target. I'm going to see if I can pull up a picture of her lemonade business, because as I said, you may not have realized that you were actually drinking this young lady's Me and the Bees lemonade, and it is actually really good. She has got a picture. She's got a number of flavors. My favorite, of course, is the original lemonade. Of course, why not? But yeah, ultimately just really proud of this little girl. So she says that she works in her business after school, after I do my homework and on the weekends and during spring break. This is what she said in an interview with NBC BLK. She said, there are not too many times when I feel stressed. Well, you know what? This little girl's got it all figured out, because business can be stressful. And this young lady is balancing school and her business at such a young age. She also revealed in her interview again that she was stung by 2 bees in the same week. And that's ultimately what inspired her to use honey instead of sugar, which is a lot healthier, as the main ingredient in her lemonade. So bees scared her. Of course, she says she didn't enjoy the bee stings. I don't either. James, I actually got stung once by a bee that was dead. So I stomped on a bee in the grass. The bee was dead. And I just got curious. I wanted to pick up the bee. I wanted to see the bee. And I picked it up from head to tail. So I don't need to tell you the rest. I picked it up, and even though the bee was dead, it still stung me. And the little stinger got stuck in my finger. So yeah, that wasn't fun. So if you kill a bee, just leave it where it's at. But anyway, she learned all about what bees do for the ecosystem and for people. And so she thought, what if I make something that helps honeybees and uses my great granny Helen's recipe? So that is how Bee Sweet Lemonade was born. She said it comes from her great granny Helen's flaxseed recipe and her new love for bees. And that's why they sweeten it with local honey. And she says, today, my little idea continues to grow. So again, interesting story. We will try to bring up a picture of her lemonade, because what it looks like today, as I said, this young lady, she was 11 years old when she started. Now, this was back in 2016. So she's, you know, she's a young adult now, but even still, James, can you imagine starting a business at 11 and where that business could potentially go years later? I mean, it's awesome. I think this is one of the things that it's important for us to do is to encourage our young people not just to go to school and get their education so that they can work for somebody else for 40 years hoping that they make enough to retire, but to empower them to work for themselves, to provide opportunities where, you know, they can utilize resources in their local communities, build up their local communities. Here we have it. So this is what her lemonade looks like today. For those of you who are following with us on YouTube, this is what it looks like today. It's called Me and the Bees Lemonade. So you may be familiar with it. And yeah, she's got to be, if she was 11 then, you're talking about what, 8, 9 years ago. So she's got to be, you know, 20, at least in her early 20s now. And at just 11 years old, if I was her
Wow.
parents, so proud of her. And as we get into the main story for today, we'll understand why this is so important for us to encourage our young people. Omar knowingly made this move to save the dwindling bumblebee population because bees are essential in food and plant pollination. Now, according to a 2013 report by Yale, the world's bee population was quickly disappearing due to rampant global warming and climate change. So, for instance, back in 2013, many US beekeepers experienced losses of up to 40 to 50% in some cases. And this record setting event happened just as commercial bee operations were ramping up and preparing to transport their hives for the country's largest pollinator event, the fertilizing of California's almond trees, which bees pollinate almost 1/3 of American foods. I didn't know all this, and this young lady researched a lot of this, and I don't even know if she understood her impact. So this is not just a young person starting a business to make some money, but this is someone who's having an impact on our entire country. So again, in the 2016 assessment of the Intergovernmental Science Policy Platform on Biodiversity and Ecosystem Services, bees and butterfly populations were decreasing primarily because of the increased use of pesticides. More than 80 scientists conclude that pesticides, among many man-made problems such as global warming, were also causing the mass pollinator to die off. So bees were going extinct. And here is this young lady. She said the dollar amount of, or they're saying that the dollar amount of this young entrepreneur's deal with Whole Foods, the full amount that she received hasn't been disclosed. So we don't know. We know that she got $60,000 from Shark Tank to run her business, but she signed a deal with Whole Foods for 55 stores. So basically, we could conclude that this 11-year-old became a millionaire before her 13th birthday. You know, Me and the Bees Lemonade. So next time you go to a Whole Foods or a Target or a Walmart, look for the lemonade, and you'll be supporting not just this young lady's business, but you'll be supporting the environment. So absolutely. Yeah,
Yes.
James, this is awesome, and thank you for bringing up this topic of kid entrepreneurship.
Oh. You know, it's so interesting that young people are doing. We can say there's some bad kids and hoodoo, and they're doing this and they're doing that, and to see young people, uh, to see young people uh, doing what they do is is a wonderful thing. I can remember when I was a kid, I had a paper route. I even cut grass. And by being from Chicago, and you know how it is in the winter in Chicago, there's so much snow. I made so much money shoveling snow. I felt bad at one time, but ooh, I would pray for snow. God knows it, because I know that once the winter was over, spring was coming, and I wasn't a great saver. I did spend quite a bit of my profits and things like that, especially. But I was happy that I was making my own money and I was out contributing to my household. And you know, those values are not there a lot in some cases. Kids are more so on the couch and they're playing their video games. I'm not saying anything bad or good about it. They learn a lot from those things. But then, there's no real activity. So um, I met some people, Wisdom. I was going out on my morning run to grab a cup of coffee and so forth. And um, I was walking up the street and I was just walking up. So I saw these kids and they were, they had their little stand up and had cookies and pickles. If y'all ever know anything about the candy lady, I'm not trying to take y'all all the way back though, but the candy lady we had a neighborhood lady that had a candy store and she would open up at a certain time and we couldn't wait for her to open. I mean, sometimes it just seemed like we were waiting just to get into her. And she had things that we liked and the things that we wanted. And she did rather well. Even though she went out of business, they tried to keep it going. She said she put her kids through college and she helped her grandchildren with the proceeds that she gotten. And to see this 11-year-old young lady not only just selling her lemonade and having her own recipe, but marketing it and putting it in the Whole Food stores. And I think she has a Walmart contract that I heard about. And that's what I was thinking about when I walked upon two interesting young men that I met. Uh, and they had their lemonade stand and their everything. Hey, mister, can you help us out? And we're just trying to do such and so. So, I had to dump my pockets and everything. And I had an idea. I said to myself, I'm going to support them. And I wanted our listeners to support them. Well, unfortunately, because of the dangerous weather that we've been having, that had came through. We had some real bad storms, and they had a setback. And we're going to talk about that setback after we come back from our first, it should be our second break, but we'll do it again. We thank you all for supporting Butters and Black Soaps and all of our coming sponsors, but this is the Morning Takeover with James and Wisdom. We'll be back with this wonderful story, and we're going to tell you more of how we're going to support them. This is the Morning Takeover, WKRA 92.7 on your FM dial. You got Wisdom, she's back, and you got James. We'll be back in a little bit.
Wisdom's Daughter and James Mack are dominating the airways with the Morning Takeover on 92.7 WKRA FM, your station for information and inspiration. Would you like to advertise your business on the radio? We're seeking sponsors for the Morning Takeover. Space is limited, so act now. Send an email to morningtakeoverjw@gmail.com for more information. You're listening to The Morning Takeover with Wisdom's Daughter and James Mack on 92.7 WKRA FM, your station for information and inspiration. Butters and Black Soap offers high-quality, handcrafted butters, black soaps, and oils made with all natural ingredients that improve the appearance of hair, skin, and nails. Try Butters and Black Soap's amazing collection of African black soaps sourced from Ghana and infused with ingredients such as turmeric, oatmeal, sea moss, coconut milk, activated charcoal, and more to promote healthy-looking skin. Say goodbye to dry, cracked skin with the Sea Moss Body Cream by Butters and Black Soaps. This non-greasy formula will leave your skin soft and supple. If you want to achieve a natural, healthy glow, try one of their whipped shea butters. Indulge in the luxurious feel of African black soaps and more by Butters and Black Soap. Shop now at www.butters_blacksoap.com. Use custom code WISDOM for a 15% discount. Shop now. You're listening to The Morning Takeover with Wisdom's Daughter and James Mack on 92.7 WKRA FM, your station for information and inspiration. Breaking news, current events, and trending stories on The Morning Takeover at 9.
And good morning once again. We're back on the morning takeover. I'm James Mack, and we're here with our co host, Wisdom's daughter. And we'd like to say hello to everyone that's in the chat. We're so glad to have you and grateful for you supporting. Please like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We do broadcast and simulcast our broadcast that we have on our radio station. We're glad to have all of you that are here. Once again, like to say hello to all of our wonderful listeners. Again, I said what I said. Hey, how are you? To Yvonne Moore, Jules Poetry is here this morning. We're glad to have you, and for all of you that are listening in on our signal in the North Mississippi and in the Memphis market, we'd like to say hello to you. Butters and Black Soaps is really great, and we definitely ask that you would support our businesses, especially a business that will give you the results that you would need. I've heard rave reviews, and we're just happy that they are a part of our morning takeover. As I was saying before I was left on our break, Wisdom, I was explaining to our audience about some young people that I met going to the store on my store run. And these wonderful young people have had tugged on my heart because I saw them. They're twins, and you know how we say they're cute and things like that. They're growing, and they're getting ready to go to a higher grade. But these young people, they play sports. These are twins. They play sports, and a way to get their new equipment, because if you have kids, and I've heard the stories before, Wisdom, I know that your son is active in a whole lot of things and activities. You got to have that. You got to have those fees and the monies and the equipment, and it's kind of hard for them. And especially when you have a mother that is really trying her best to make sure that they have a great way of life. She's doing a wonderful job. Sheree, I'd like to say hello and good morning to you. And I know that you're listening. We had some difficulties with you coming in. We really wanted to hear from you, but we will give you an opportunity to do so real soon. But I wanted to talk about Twintopia. This is the group, two brothers have gotten together, and they wanted to do something positive to raise the money that they needed for their equipment and other things. And they're real nice young men, very mannerable, and that says something about the way that Sheree is doing with her children, and we really salute her. Now, this is what happened. Okay, they have their stand. But for those of you that are looking on our YouTube page, those of you that can't see it on our through the radio, of course, but the storm came, and in that storm, it destroyed their tent where they had their table and some other things, equipment that they had, and it just, as you see, what the wind did to it, it just ripped them to smithereens. My original plan that I had, Wisdom, was to just go and see if we could just buy out everything that they had on their table with their little investment that they made. And I was going to surprise them and do that. But the storm came, and they were heartbroken because their business was shattered. And for those of us that are entrepreneurs or had anything to do with business, and when we see something like that happen, it's a total devastation, and it just broke their hearts. I could not allow, even in the midst of everything that's going on in our communities and in our world today, we have to spotlight, and we have to also consider the little people, the youngsters. What are they doing? And because these two young people got together, put their money together, bought their supplies and everything, and said, we're going to do this in a different way. And we want to do this, and this is our way of raising money. And Wisdom, I was just so touched by them. And as you see on the screen, we have their Cash App, their mother, Sheree. She's listening, and we see her that she's listening, and we want to support these young people and help them rebuild their small business. Summer is still going on. They have wonderful. They had some wonderful lemonade. Y'all talking about the little girls lemonade. I don't know. They might have some competition on their hands. But these are young people that are out there and they're doing wonderful. They could be doing anything and everything. And you know, if we grown up with some, you know that we had our little jobs, our little things that we were doing, whatever it was, whether it was babysitting or cutting grass or whatever the case may be, or just going to the store for someone. And we wanted to have our own money. And these young men wanted to have their new equipment. So I'm asking you, and we're going to continue to flash the Cash App that you can Cash App them directly. We want to help them. And all of you that are my listeners in the Mid South and in the general Memphis area and in the greater DeSoto County area, we want you to replay this. The $TANASKAW. That is all capital letters. You all know that the $ goes first, and it will help them. And those of you that are looking on our YouTube broadcast, I want you to reach out to them, and we're going to help them rebuild and help them to achieve the goal that they want to. We could do any and everything. We can support. I've supported things and people that I probably shouldn't have, and I'm just asking you, and I'm reaching out to you. Tell your friends on the replay that if you're listening to the replay, it still stands. We're going to still support them until they get their tent back up. Wisdom, you've seen these tents before. Tell me a little bit about, because I don't know, and forgive me, you all, I don't know too much. But then, Wisdom, give me some background on that equipment that they lost. You gave me a brief one, but give our audience some description of what they've lost.
So the tent that they had was most likely a 10 by 10 tent. It's 10 feet by 10 feet. So, and these tents are designed to make it very easy to lift. So if you look, those of you who are following us on YouTube, if you look at the picture, you can see where it's basically a push button. So there's a push button on each leg. It makes very easy to raise. I mean, these tents can run around $100 to $200. I actually had one last year over my patio. I had gotten my nice patio set. I didn't want to use an umbrella. I said, oh, I've got a genius idea. I'll use a tent. And the first major summer storm that blew through, it felt like, twister weather. I was away and I could actually see on my Ring camera, my tent had uprooted itself out of the grass, out of the ground, was, bent to shreds, looked much like this picture on my grass. And, I could have lowered it, because you can actually lower this tent to about 2 or 3 feet off the ground. And so if this tent was left out, definitely I can understand. I'm having flashbacks now to what my tent looked like. But ultimately, these are the tents that you typically see like at outdoor events, carnivals, and things like that. And so, they're not terribly expensive. And so, they're not $500, $1,000. We're talking about $100 to $200. And so, those of you who are able to, if you have it in your heart to give to them, they can replace their tent and some of the supplies that they lost. I can only imagine, what that's like. You've got your business going, a storm blows through, and then it feels like everything is over. But I think what's the most amazing thing is that, as you said, I mean, these kids could choose to spend their time just playing basketball. They could choose to spend their time getting into trouble, because I was a kid too, and I was very mischievous. Okay. I'm not going to tell my business, but I was mischievous.
Go and tell your business.
I was a prankster. I liked playing pranks. And so I would have been the kid that would ring your doorbell and then run around the side. See, we didn't have Ring cameras back in the 80s and 90s, so we can get away with those things. These kids today, boy, no, they can't get away with anything. But I mean, these kids are not out in the neighborhood making trouble. They're actually doing a great thing. And imagine if one kid from one family in every neighborhood was able to do something like this and reach the level that Michaela Ulmer reached. I mean, the possibilities are endless. And I think that is what we need to work on instilling in our children, is the possibilities, the hope, and not just waiting for opportunity to come to them, but teaching them how to create their own opportunities, because the opportunity is
Yes.
not always going to knock on your door.
Right. And it's just it's amazing how uh, and it just was that's just tugged on my heart because like you said I mean kids could be doing everything, and when you hear the tragic stories each and every day, and we do hear them, this is just something a little bit different to give you an actual persons that you can help. These young people are really energetic. They're really, really nice. I'm going to get them on when we get our when we can. But I know that they're listening. I just got a notification that they are listening. Hey guys, we're going to do everything that we can. Listen, I'm going to talk to our supporters and our listeners, and I want you to. I'm emphasizing this. You know, our kids who are in this local community in North Mississippi, they're reaching out to us, asking us like, listen, we got our business up, but we had a setback. They don't have insurance or anything for kids like that. Well, unless they when they become wealthy and successful in their ventures or whatever, like this 11-year-old girl, you have insurance, but they don't have a staff. They don't have a maintenance department or somebody that can make them whole again. I'm just asking that you take out your time and look as you see the pictures and you see them on the screen. Hurricane Beryl did a lot of damage to this beloved stand, and it's beyond repair. There's nothing that they can do about it. And to see their hearts broken, they didn't cry. They were big boys. They didn't cry. They said, "Mister, we're closed and out of business for." I mean, I just broke my heart. I said to myself, I'm going to use this platform to the best of my ability to bring inspiration and information. I brought you the information on them. Now I want to bring some inspiration. We're going to help these kids. In the chat, I just got another message, and Wisdom, I'm going to ask you to describe the price of that tent. I just got somebody ask me how much was the tent. Give us another recap. We're going to do this for another few minutes just to see how you all do. Wake up here, wake folks up and let them know. Now, I know that you all give. You give in church, you give to the Red Cross, you give to all these other people. Let us give to these young people and help them to get what they deserve. And that is a helping hand. Don't look down on them. People can laugh and say, you know, they got that old tent out there, it's tore up and everything. Think about yourself. Think about your grandchildren. Wouldn't you want them to be out there doing something other than being first class on the news or anything? Wisdom, go ahead and give that information for our listeners that are listening. Somebody's asking about roundabout price and everything. And the Cash App is flashing. Go ahead.
Sure. So let me see if I can bring this up. So Best Choice Products is a website that actually sells these tents. And so these tents will probably run them about $120 plus tax for anyone who is interested in trying to help them. I'll see if I can blow it up on the screen. And so, yeah, so you're talking about, and if you purchase it from this website, again, it's bestchoiceproducts.com. They have it on sale, 14% off. Market price for these tents can be just over $200. They have it for $120 plus tax. And this would be the same tent that they had. It also includes a storage bag. So for anyone who was interested in donating to these young people so that we can get their tent replaced for them. You know, our children are our future. You know, Whitney said it. Don't get me singing up in here.
Go on and spell out one for them so they can go ahead. This is the Gibathon for the Twin Topias. We want go ahead, hit a couple of bars for them.
Right.
Go ahead. You know you want to. Go ahead. You know you want the morning singers.
Maybe I might give you a little bit of something. We'll see.
I hope we'll see if it hits you. On this tent, if you look at what's on our screen here on our YouTube channel, we know that our audience can't see it. You might be in traffic, but you do the replay. They have stabilizers on this one, and I don't think that there were one on there for a storm. But as I'm looking at it, folks, if we help them, let's help them to get something that just in case that win comes and helps them. Thank you. I'm looking at all of you all that have invested, Lady BB and June's Poetry. Um, Yvonne Moore is contacting me, and there are people. We're going to do this. Let's help them rebuild what they have. Let's help them make them whole, and I want to see something. And Sheree, I know that you're listening. Give me an update. Let me know what's going on. And we need to take out this time. Go ahead.
Absolutely. She may be able to, I don't know if it's possible, if it's possible for her to call you on your cell phone, and maybe we can hear it that way. That might potentially be possible. And if not, then we'll have her back on. She has an amazing story. I really wanted to hear where the idea came from. How did she, was it her kids that came to her and said, "Hey mom, we want to do this"? Was it out of, some need? I know oftentimes when parents are struggling, children will step up and say, "Hey mom, I can help out. I'll sell lemonade." So I really wanted to find out the backstory of how Utopia came to be. I've got about 3 more minutes with us, and James put me on the spot, so I'm gonna go ahead and give you a little something.
Okay, give us something.
Children are our future. Teach them well and let them lead the way. Show them all the beauty they possess inside. Give them a sense of pride to make it easier. Let the children's laughter remind us how we used to be. Everybody's searching for a hero. People need someone to look up to. I never found anyone who fulfilled my needs. A lonely place to be. And so I learned to depend on me. It's just a little something. James, that was your fault because you put me on the spot. I am no Whitney, but I will tell you that I do love to sing, and that is probably definitely one of my top 3 Whitney songs besides "I Will Always Love You."
Oh, you're a superstar. We thank you. Listen, I did something that you told me to do. I got Sheree on the line, and I did with the masterful way of radio. Sheree, are you there, Sheree?
Yes, I'm here.
Can you all hear her? How's she coming in?
She's coming in clear.
Sheree, I wanted to say good morning to you, and I'd like to introduce our audience. This is Sheree. This is Twintopia's moms. I want you to get the babies' names and everything. And how you doing this morning?
All righty.
Okay.
Well, good morning, everyone. I'm up bright and early this morning. I've gotten up and gotten the boys ready. Again, I am Sheree. I'm Ashton and Aiden's mom. They are 9-year-old twins, and I was just listening, so just to kind of reiterate and touch what he said, yeah, they are very active. They play all types of sports, of course, to any mom or any parent out there. All children are expensive these days. Everything is expensive, but especially when you're carrying twins, everything is kind of multiplied. So we came up with a little idea because I told boys that we may have to push back their season of football due to they have locks. They have, long hair. They have locks in their hair. So they need new helmets. And I was just telling them, just give me a little bit of time, and we're going to be up and running. We just have to get new helmets. And the helmets cost anywhere around $125, $150. So they came up with the idea that they want to make a lemonade stand. And I said, you know what? Who am I to not support them when they have figured out their own way to make money for themselves, to get the helmets themselves? So I was like, the least I could do is support that. I went out and I bought these huge containers to hold their lemonade and their fruit punch in, and we just started fresh with all of their things. So they, like you said, there's something like the Candy Lady back in the day, where they sell all different type of things, and we're trying to be cost efficient. We know that these days are hard for everybody, so pretty much everything on the table we try to keep no more than $1 to $3. We have $1 lemonade, but we have really big pouches that you can get the lemonade in, and they're keepsakes, so you can keep them there very nice, and they're $3. So that's the absolute most that we have there.
Right.
And I'm trying to see what it is that I'm missing that I maybe forgot to say. Mr. James or Miss Wisdom, you can help me or let me know if there's anything that I'm lacking right now.
Okay. I want to ask a question. First of all, everybody that's watching our live YouTube channel, and also those of you that are in your cars, your places of business, wherever you are, listening to WKRA 92.7 FM. I want to give out and read out your Cash App where they can send. We want to buy everything. I want to buy everything that they got. Give them some new supplies and everything. I may have wishful thinking, and I'm gonna put my money where my mouth is too. I'm not gonna ask you all to do something that I would not do. Her Cash App is the $, capital T A N A S K W KAW. That is $TANASKAW. Did I get that right, Sheree?
Yes, you definitely got it right.
I
So
want
when you put it up,
you.
the name at the bottom will say Tanasca Williams. That's my government name, but that is indeed me. And I also want to shout out Mr. Frank Haynes Jr., who has to be listening this morning. He's already sent $25.
Isn't
I
that
want to let
wonderful?
you know that the twins were greatly appreciated. So thank you to you, Mr. Frank.
Yes, thank you, Frank. And we want to say that, and I think I still got Wisdom with me. This is something, and I've always, it's no tags to us. This is what we're supposed to do. And I couldn't find anything better that I would rather invest in, as I would like to invest in children. And they're such nice, mannerable young men. I don't know if you have them awake or not. I'm pretty sure that they're awake. You know, kids sleep late a little bit. Are they around you, Sheree?
No, I actually just got them when they went to
It's
a
okay.
Little Dreamers summer camp.
Okay.
So
Okay.
they actually just left out for camp, but they will be back in approximately 2 hours.
Okay, well, we'll be off the air. I just want to say to you that I take my hat off to you as a mother, and you're doing a wonderful job with your young men, and they're mannerable. And they got a little dog, y'all, that always come up and jump up over. And I said, I'm gonna have to. I don't know about. We had a little show about pets and things like that. We had a little segment. I got to get used to it, but that's my little friend. If I see him out, he'll come down and look at me like you don't have no treats or nothing. So I got to get some treats or something just in case he comes out or something. But Sheree, I just really wanted to let you know that WKRA, the Morning Takeover, Wisdom and James, all of our wonderful listeners and our partners and those that are listening are on your side. We're going to make sure you keep us abreast on the success of things. Let us know, and let us keep us up to date on the progress. Y'all see on the screen, on our YouTube screen, you see the actual tent that we would love for them to have, stabilizers and everything, so it won't be looking like it was looking. I felt so bad when I saw things happening, and we just kicked into gear. And whatever you do, I'm really sure that the kids and Sheree will just thanks. And we want to thank my co-host. She gave a Cash App. Those of you all that see it, Wisdom's Daughters on the Job. We're going to make sure that we get them what they need. And is there anything else you'd like to tell us about the boys or about you or anything?
Well, yes, again, I would definitely like to say thank you to them. And as he said, they are very mountable young men. We're going to get this together. I tried my best to log in this morning. It's just giving me all type of complication with passwords, but I would love for you all to experience them yourself one day if we can get them on air. But one thing that I will make sure that I would do is I would send over pictures so that Mr. James can keep you all updated. And again, I just want to say thank you all for, this platform and this show. I've definitely told all of my family about it and different people that you guys were planning on, views. You have great topics and things that people really need to hear. So kudos to you guys for just doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
Greatly appreciate it.
Wow, that's Sheree. That's our new friend that we have adopted her whole family. We got y'all leave. You know, the kids got grandparents and things. You know, so we're going to have to share them. And I want to thank Sheree for coming in. Thank you, Wisdom, for see. You know, Wisdom is very handy to me because she said, "James, do it this way," and I did it the way she told me to do. Yeah, I did what you told me, Wisdom. Okay.
I wanted to hear her story. I think it's important for, other moms. We get so busy, but as I prepare to leave our show a little bit early today, I just want to leave on this note. We have to pour into our children. We have to invest in our children. We have to empower our children. They really are the future, and they're going to be left in this world when we are gone. And I love the analogy. If you give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. If you teach a man to fish, you feed him for life. And so if we equip our children with financial literacy, one of our listeners said it, that these kids, elementary, middle, high school, they're not being taught financial literacy. And by the time they do get some of that education, they've already made a number of mistakes with credit cards and not understanding interest rates and how that works. And so it's important for us to pour into them now. They're never too young to learn. If they're old enough to talk and pick up things, especially if they're old enough to talk back, if you got a talk back baby, okay? If you got a talk back baby, teach that baby how to balance a checkbook. Teach them how credit works. Start finding out where their passions are and invest in them, because I can tell you this, you can turn your passion into a profitable business. And on that note, Wisdom is over and out. God bless you. Thank you, all of you who gave. Blessings to the twins, and may your business continue to prosper. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow. James, I'm out. I'll see you tomorrow. Take it away.
You're listening to The Morning Takeover with Wisdom's Daughter and James Mack on 92.7 WKRA FM, your station for information and inspiration. Breaking news, current events, and trending stories on The Morning Takeover at 9.
I'm back. What happened was I did not hit the button. I was just talking, and I didn't hit the button. Once again, we'd like to thank Wisdom's Daughter for her being with us this morning. She has have another appointment that she must attend to. I want to thank each and every one of you that have helped us in contributing to these young people and helping them to get back. Sheree, if you're listening, I'm going to put you in contact with one of my fine supporters, and they have some information that they have to get from you. So you'll get that information as soon as I can get it to you. I want to thank all of you for what you're doing, because you didn't have to do it, but you did. And we're going to stay on top of it. We're going to get a report from Sheree and the boys, and we're going to keep you abreast on what's going on. People helping people. We have to help each other. We have to support each other, and I'm just grateful. We're going to continue to stream the Cash App. It's going to go the whole show. But those of you that cannot see it, it is $TANASKAW. Once again, $TANASKAW, and you can directly assist our young people on their venture to get their business back in order. And I'm pretty sure they're going to be really, really happy. It's just nice to be nice. It's just, it ain't gonna cost you nothing to be good to each other. It's not, and even if you don't have, or whatever the case may be, as I said before, send your regards. Get into the chat. Say something to these young people. Give them some encouragement. And when you do, remember them. It's what we do to the least of these. We do unto our Lord. And I said that because I know that there are good people out there. There are people that may not believe like I believe, but there's still good people that are out there that will take an opportunity to help these young people. And I'm glad. Listen, I got early this morning. I got some information from one of my team members, and it was interesting to me when I saw it about Mr. Clarence Thomas and his shenanigans that he's been up to. Do you know that Clarence Thomas has received, thus far, as reported by the United Press International and other outlets, he's received over $4 million in gifts. He's the largest gift getter, the largest recipient of gifts outside of any other Supreme Court justice. With 2025, the Project 2025 coming about, which will give the Supreme Court even probably more leeway. Someone described the Supreme Court's relationship to this Project 2025 is that the person that's in the office of the presidency will receive instructions on what he can and what he cannot do. The Game of Thrones, they told me, they said, and I don't know, I'm not a fan. They said that the king, they had a king, and then they got something that's called the king's hand. That means that they are the people that keep the king in line. I think that we're on our way to that if we allow this person with the orange hair to get back in. I can't stress it any greater than I can, and I will be, that we have to take responsibility for who we put into office. And I want to invite you to give your comments about it. I have someone that is going to update us and bring us a little bit closer to this story. I said what I said. One of our great listeners, she also comes in sometimes when we need her to be our guest co-host. She comes in, and she's going to come in a little bit and share something about what Mr. Thomas is doing and what the Supreme Court is doing. And we got to keep our eyes on what's happening today. Project 2025 is serious. Project 2025 is going to affect our lives if it's implemented. This think tank that is sponsored and led through by the Heritage Foundation, there's a foundation of they call themselves conservatives, and they got this 920-page plan. I seen the book, how the person printed it all out. It's bigger than any encyclopedia or any dictionary that I've seen. And it has their and I mean, hats off to a degree. They got their plan down pat, what they want this country to be like and what they want to, what they call return back to its greatness. I have a serious problem with it, and I'm sure that all of you all have a serious problem with it. So I'm waiting for, I said what I said, to come forward. The link is in the chat. I want you to come in and bring us up to speed on what Mr. Clarence Thomas is doing. Listen, folks, if you're not registered to vote, please go to our email address, morningtakeoverjw@gmail.com, and you will be able to get, we'll send you some information in your local area how you can get your voter registration together. Now, just don't get your voter registration together and leave out everything else. Get up and go out and vote. It is very, very, very important that we do. And we got to continue to keep people aware of the coming events that will be affecting our lives. And it is my job and the job of this show to bring you that information. Once again, I'd like to thank you all for listening to WKRA 92.7 on your FM dial with the Morning Takeover. You got James Mack, Wisdom's daughter, is on assignment for later this morning. We heard from her earlier, but I have our friend, a friend of this show, a friend of mine. She's my friend. Is my friend, y'all. You can hear in her voice she brings a wealth of information, and she also gives us the details that I might not find and see, but she sees them. I said what I said. Hey, are you there?
Hey, James. Good morning.
Good morning to you, and thank you for your support this morning, and thank you for everything that you do, and your assistance that you gave to me was very valuable, and I'm sure that Sheree and her boys would like it. It was I said what I said that helped me and assisted me in making sure that this appeal goes out, and I have to just say thank you for what you have done and how you have helped the Morning Takeover. Give us something, give us a brief overlay of this Clarence Thomas situation and what's going on with him and what the Democrats are trying to do with him.
Well, we have Senator Whitehouse and Senator Lou. They're asking the Attorney General Merrick Garland to appoint a special counsel to look into Clarence Thomas and his gifts that he's been receiving. And the angle that they're going to go with is the IRS. They said that they were going to investigate him for an RV that he purchased for about $250,000. I think it was like $267,000. And what he did was he got a loan from one of his donors, and he only paid the interest on the loan for about 8 years, and then after that, the loan was just kind of forgiven. So Senator Whitehouse and Senator Lou want to find out if they paid taxes on that. If Clarence Thomas, first of all, did he report it as a gift? And the donors that gifted it to him, they want to make sure that they paid the taxes on it. But that's not the only scandal that Clarence Thomas have. But I feel like that's just they want to use that as a probe, because you know how how an investigation go. You start out one way, and then they just give you a roadmap to everything else. So I feel like they're getting ready to open him up to investigate him if the Attorney General agree to it, and then they'll find out everything else that he's been doing. I noticed that June Poetry said that he got money to send his grandson to college. Meanwhile, everybody else is struggling, to send their kids to college, and so he's on the bench. He's supposed to be he's supposed to have ethics. No judge, Supreme Court justice should be receiving gifts without reporting it. And Clarence Thomas have, he can make judgments on us and make rules for us to live by, but he seemed to have a problem with understanding the ethic code of the Supreme Court. I remember I watched a clip where he said that he didn't know that he had to report everything. He didn't know if it was reportable, but he understands what's going on. He's just being bought, to me, by supporters so that they can pass their legislation. I feel like that's why he's making a lot of the decisions that he's making, because in my opinion, him and some of the other justices are being bought by billionaires. And so once the government start investigating, I'm sure we'll see whatever else he's been up to.
Yeah, and, it's just so amazing how you would here's a man that I said what I said. Here's a man where he replaced the late great Thurgood Marshall, who was the very first black person to be on the Supreme Court back in the 1960s at the urging of President Johnson. And great jurist, helped us with Brown versus the Board of Education. He was one of the lead attorneys representing the Brown family in the school desegregation case. And George Bush, the old man, nominated him. He used to be with EEOC, Clarence Thomas was. So he knows government agencies. He knows reporting. He knows that he knew he had to report it, but he just, so to speak, said that, well, I got this job forever, so I ain't got to say nothing to nobody, or whatever the case may be. And it's just terrible. And it's just really ridiculous. I mean, this person, and then now all of a sudden he turns on his people. What I mean by his people, he turned on Black people, affirmative action. He turned on women, telling them that through their rulings that they have that they can't have jurisdiction, or they can't do anything or health-wise with their bodies and reproduction rights. He was the main person that said they don't have the rights. To see him sitting up there, and a breath of fresh air is Ketanji Brown Jackson, who is the first Black woman appointed to the U.S. Supreme Court, to the highest court, is like a balance. She's a breath of fresh air. But give me, from your standpoint, I said what I said. What your take on Thomas Period, from what you experience and what you think about him as a justice of the Supreme Court?
Well, I have a problem with him just disregarding the law and the Constitution. He also made an inference that he's going to go after the LGBT rights. It appears that all of the rights that have been a right as rights that we have enjoyed for the last 50 years, it looked like they're trying to roll everything back, like you said, voting rights, women rights, civil rights. And I don't understand why he want to roll all these rights back, because it had to be a law for him to even be married to the woman that he's married to. So I'm interested to see if he's going to try to roll that right back also, because that will affect him. And I just feel like he's very corrupt, him, and not just him. I feel like it's 2 or 3 other ones on the Supreme Court that's not following the law, and that's trying to roll back our rights but meanwhile, they're enjoying the fruits and benefits of special gifts, money that they're not reporting and that they're hiding. And like they said, it's a 2-tier justice system. The poor people, or the people who doesn't have a lot of means, have to follow the law to a T. Meanwhile, billionaires, millionaires, Supreme Court justices, they follow a different law. And the new anointed king for president that we have, they have different laws that they have to follow, but everybody else have to follow. We have to follow the law by the book. So
Yeah.
I'm very disappointed in them, because it's within the last I say the last decade. Within the last decade, they're rolling back rights that Americans are used to and that we enjoyed. And I feel like it's a bigger picture. I feel like all of this is intertwined with the Project 2025, so
Right.
that can be implemented, on Americans. They want to change our way of life in a
Yes.
huge way.
Yes.
And
It's a scary thought, because these are, there's 3 branches of government. I always talk about 3 branches of government: the executive, the judicial, and the legislative. Congress is going to have to step in, and I'm hoping that this upcoming election cycle will give us the necessary means and people that will make those changes in the Congress. They can be stopped. They're not the final authority. Some people say that they should add on some more Supreme Court justices. I don't know, because I'm not saying, I know that they're lifetime appointments, but anything can happen to anybody. We just need people to have some kind of, not just common sense, but just some compassionate sense of what's going on in our country. There's a lot of things that we can't do about the regulations or the things that are going on financially, but we do have a right to, and we got those rights. We're not giving them back. We have a right to life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness, and to enjoy our lives also. But when you got a group of people that feel that they have the know-how and the rule to put us out and put the government in a position that it's never been in before, and then anointing a man to literally telling us that this man, he can do whatever he wants to do if it's an official act. And that's the same thing. I'm trying to find out what in the world is an official act. Does that mean that he wakes up in the morning and say, I hate certain people, or I want to unalive certain people, or I got an enemy here? He can say, y'all go and get him, or something like that. And literally the courts gave him that power. You got that power because one of Mr. Trump's lawyers was asked, if they brought SEAL Team 6 or one of those government military aid groups to one of those military groups to go after his opponents. Is it right? They said if it's an official duty, yeah. And they literally said, okay, we go along with this. His official acts he can't be held accountable for, but anything else he possibly can be held accountable for. And that's the catch-22 question that they have is, what in the world is an official act? What do you think it is? What do you think they're going to come up with? I said what I said. What do you think they're going to come up with?
Well, the Supreme Court left it so broad to where now, anytime that any of these court cases that he has, they're actually going to have to, just comb through it with a fine-tooth comb and find out what's official and what's not official. They can make their rulings, and then, as one of the rights that we enjoy right now, whatever ruling happens, then you can appeal it. And I assume that they're going to keep that, as far as our process go, with these new changes that they're trying to implement. I assume you're going to be able to still appeal your cases, and that way he can appeal it until it goes to the Supreme Court, so that they can strike down whatever sentence or charges that he have. And so they left it so broad to where the judges, they're actually saying that it's the judge's decision. And I feel like once the judge make the decision, anything that they don't like, then they're going to appeal it and take it to a judge that will, give them the favorable agreement that they want.
Yes.
Go ahead and give them the favorable judgment.
Yes.
It's all kind of, they're kind of slowly but surely trying to push us into a third world country as far as our liberties and rights, and they're trying to take them all away, as if their rights are the right ones. The Constitution said, that everybody should be able to practice whatever religion they want. We have a lot of rights and freedoms in America, but it appears that one group want to push their freedoms and rights on everybody else, and it's not. It's unconstitutional. But the Supreme Court is just allowing, whatever the Christian white nationalists want. It appears that they're going to go ahead and agree with them, and just everybody else, you just fall in line. That's what it looks like to me. So it's very important that everybody do vote, because we're not only going to be voting for the president, we're going to be voting for the senators, the House of Representatives, and that makes a huge difference on whether or not we could try to fight for justice.
Yes.
If we don't have the House and the Senate, then we can't fight for the rights that's been taken away from us or implement new laws.
And as we see in the news, and as we continue to look, I wanted to inform our listening audience. someone said, "Are you going?" Somebody sent me a message and said, "Enough already with the Project 2025." I say to that person, I respectfully uh, receive your message, but I'm going to continue to bring and make aware and bring awareness to our community on the finer thing. There are elections that are coming up, not just in November. We got to jump that hurdle, and we got to make sure that that man with the orange hair does not get back in there and implement this plan, at least not these 4 years that are coming up, and that the protections, and there should be some stopgap measures to prevent any other sort of wannabe dictator president or whatever the case may be to come in and disrupt our lives. I know that that's a process, but your local elections are very, very important. I was talking to someone about the local races that are going to be coming up for mayor and alderman, school board, and for various other positions. Those positions are important because they distribute what they've been receiving from the federal government. The state government goes through the counties and to the various municipalities. These are the people that make the decisions about your tax dollars and where they should go. And I'm just saying to everyone that we have to be proactive. We have to be familiar with what's going on. We got to really make sure that people in our churches, in our groups that we go in, listen, this is what they're trying to do. And we're not going to give them that opportunity to do that. And we're not going to allow people to not have the information that they need. And I said what I said. I'm really grateful to you for everything that you have brought to us and to our understanding. We're going to get deeper into as we go along in the days to come. We're going to continue to talk about this issue. This is serious business, and I think that it should take that kind of care that it is that we're taking. Once again, we'd like to thank you for listening to the morning takeover. For those of you that Twintopia is still willing to receive your assistance, we're going to make sure that they're really whole. And I want to come back tomorrow with a update. I said what I said. I'm going to keep you posted too, because you did help me formulate and to get this great announcement out to our listeners about these young people. And I really commend you to everybody that supported these young people so far. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for you reaching out. And as Wisdom would say, may your gift come back to you 100-fold. I say 1,000. I think she said so. But I'm grateful because I believe that we made a difference on this morning. And we're going to make a difference every morning. Once again, you're listening to the Morning Takeover with James and Wisdom. I'm here. I'll be back here tomorrow. We have a great show lined up. I'd like to once again say to all of our wonderful listeners by YouTube, thank you for watching our stream, and thank you for supporting those of you that are in the chat. Thank you very much to Kim D. Wynn. Thank you very much for your support of these young people. I'm not going to call everybody's name right now, but I'm going to get a list together, and I'm just going to mention you what you've done, not what you've done, but that you did help out, and not to shame anybody. Whatever your gift is, it will help. And let's just be loving towards everybody. And as I say all the time, be kind to each other. It costs you nothing to be nice. Love somebody. Go and visit somebody. Take care of yourselves during these times that we're living in. All we have is ourselves. And if we do what we're supposed to do, I know that things will be great. Once again, you're listening to WKRA 92.7 on your FM dial. This is the Morning Takeover with James and Wisdom. We will be back on tomorrow, same time, same channels, and we're going to wish you all well on your day. Have a wonderful day and a beautiful tomorrow.
Wisdom's Daughter and James Mack are dominating the airways with the Morning Takeover on 92.7 WKRA FM, your station for information and inspiration. Would you like to advertise your business on the radio? We're seeking sponsors for the Morning Takeover. Space is limited, so act now. Send an email to morningtakeoverjw@gmail.com for more information. You're listening to The Morning Takeover with Wisdom's Daughter and James Mack on 92.7 WKRA FM, your station for information and inspiration.